revolution.
So, here I am, back for another one, another quickie, maybe, or maybe not, but yeah, I'm just getting on, just because, you know, I'm getting messages thick and fast about certain mentally unwell individuals who have just lost the plot, basically. You know, they don't live in their reality. It's clearly unhinged. They went to extreme lengths to try and, as I said, damage my reputation, ruin it by making false allegations, smear campaigns. Well, we've already been through that, but like, look, I will say this, right? These individuals have parroted this narrative of that they're strong and that I'm weak, right? But I stand alone. You had to round up a gang of equally insecure, bitter, spiteful, resentful, hateful individuals who were just only too happy to believe in the fairy tales that you were spreading about me, and they just jumped on the bandwagon. You tried to paint a picture that I'm aggressive, I'm abusive. Then you try to start saying that I'm a prostitute and I'm a drug dealer, and you had the backing of corrupt individuals. You had corrupt police officers, or constables, or cunt-stables, what these are anyway. Because you know what they say about police? They have the same profile as a criminal, but, you know, you either choose to use your abilities for good or bad. And so they decided to become full-blown criminals within the justice system. You've got like a bench judge, a corrupt solicitor. I'm not entirely sure, but I think there's someone out of the family that is a paralegal or works within the legal field, like, you know what I mean, or could be practicing to become a solicitor or a barrister, or they are, and they've been like manipulating paperwork, trying to delay while you try and think up of another tall tale, another fantasy that you allude to in order to try and tarnish my name or make me out to be something that I'm not. And I'm bearing in mind, like I'm like a broken record at this point. I've had nothing to do with one particular whore who was a dirty whore that's dying of all kinds of illnesses. Nothing to do with them for 10 years, but they've been going on for longer than that, calling me worse than shite, keeping secrets from me since I was a kid, since I was a child, hiding things from us. You all did. You all lied to us. You're all untrustworthy. You're all vile individuals who engage in all kinds of depravity. That's very sickening. And like these secrets that you're trying to keep hidden will be hidden no longer, that's for sure. Because you are some sick and depraved individuals that need to be burned at the stake, if I'm quite honest with you. But yeah, you try to make out that I'm weak and that you're strong, but you had to use like a large audience. You had to gather people. You had to gather people and form groups, form group chats, whether this was WhatsApp, whether this was Telegram, whether this was a group chat on the dark web, or whether this was Discord, right? You then were having non-stop discussions because you were bribing individuals, paying them to stalk us, paying them to follow us, paying them to take photographs of us, employing the services of a ginger idiot who was supposed to be a so-called private investigator to tap my phone, right? To monitor my phone calls. And you wonder why I don't use my phone for calls and texts. Because I knew that ginger bastard was tapping my phone lines. Because I caught her out one day. Because, you know, when you're trying so hard to get us to leave home and to move away, and that ginger bastard said, oh, best go to Scotland because you're free to roam up there. You know what I mean? Because there's no free to roam in England. You know what I mean? You can't just do a bit of wild camping. Whereas up in Scotland you can. But they thought, oh, get as far away from home as possible there, and then put us down as a missing person to help bolster your narrative, so that you can rob me of that inheritance that was left to me, rightfully left to me. Nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with none of us at all. But you sadistic bastards thought you could, you know, take us out, right? Because I'm weak, right? And you're strong. But I stand alone, right? You need individuals. You need constant validation. You need people to constantly pat you on the back and say, oh, you're doing great. You're doing so good. Oh, you're fabulous. You're so fantastic. Oh, my God. Do you know what I mean? But, like, I don't need that. I validate myself because I have self-love. I don't need the opinions of weak minds. You know what I mean? Lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. And you're all sheep. You need someone to follow. You're all followers. You're not a leader. I mean, especially the fat whore. I mean, you're useless. You're useless, and then you pay people to hack into my social media to monitor who I'm communicating with. And that's how you ended up getting on to where the lady boy, Lenny the lady boy, that fucking idiot. Someone I don't know them, right? Never had a conversation. Again, I'm like a broken record. The fat whore I've had nothing to do with for almost 10 years, right? It's very close now. You know, it's more closer to 10 than fucking 9. Because she's an absolute control freak. And you've never been able to control us. Even when you had the resources you had at your disposal, you still couldn't fucking control us. You still couldn't stop us. You know what I mean? I'm going to say and do what I want because I'm a free man. I'm a free living human being on this earth, right? And neither you nor Lord Fahkie-Harse, who was financially backing you, who's been playing a hand in my life since my birth, trying to put us in a false prison, an illusion, to try and delay us. Yes, you're Lord Fahkie-Harse, the one that if I've got to go to hospital or the doctors, or even if I'm working abroad and I've got to give a blood sample, that fat cunt or whatever he is had a hand in like retaining, or if I donated blood, this cunt would be stealing my fucking blood. But regardless of what you think you're going to get out of it, as soon as you extract anything from me, as soon as you take anything from me, right, if you're going to steal it, if you're going to be a sleazy fucking snide cunt that does backhanded shit, right, as soon as that has been extracted from me, or as soon as you take any of my personal belongings and they go into your hands, they now become curses. And over time, they will slowly but surely degrade your life until you are no more. And I hear Lord Fahkie-Harse.
You, Mr. Fahkie-Harse!
Let's just put it this way, Lord Fahkie-Harse. right? In the spirit, you're a nobody, all right? You're a nobody. And in the 3D realm, you're a wealthy nobody. So you may have money, but you're still nobody. And if you were somebody, if you had the power you claim to allude yourself to having, then it should have been easy to stop me and prevent from me achieving what I'm going to set out to achieve. A lot of which I've achieved, but I'm going to achieve a lot more as I move forward from this point. And as I understand it, Lord Fahkie-Harse.
You, Mr. Fahkie-Harse.
You little spavin-fierce twat. You're not in very good health because you were engaged in coitus with these inbred retards. See, you're so powerful you have to ingratiate yourself with inbreds. Yeah. In swinger parties, diseased rats. You engage with vermin because you're such a fucking winner, aren't you? Oh, I have money, I can buy you. It's just like, no, you can't. You can buy weak-minded individuals. The very same individuals who claim to be strong, but are not. Remember, you had to form alliances. You had to tell lies. You had to deceive. You cut corners, right? You don't do the necessary work that's required for self-development, for self-improvement, for progression to be able to move forward. You don't learn from your lessons. You don't learn from any mistakes that's made. You do not reflect. You know, you don't turn inwards. You do none of that because you're ignorant. You're all ignorant. You think you know it all, but you know nothing. And one thing's for certain, the more I know, the more I realise I know nothing. And I'm forever learning. You know what I mean? This journey is never ending. You're here to learn and grow. But you do none of that. You're always at base level, you're always at ground level. I mean, you stoop to below those levels. You are degenerates. You think just because you've got money you can throw it at people. But not all people are corrupt, you see. Not all people can be bought. And, yeah. But anyway, Lord Fahkie-Harse.
You, Mr. Fahkie-Harse.
Let's just say this. You're going to pass away soon. And when you get to the other side, boy oh boy, you haven't got a fucking clue what's waiting for you on the other side. Because remember, spiritually, you're nobody. And in the 3D realm, you're a wealthy nobody. And you're about to expire, decay, and transition to the other side. You know, because you're so powerful. And my blood won't help you. It won't heal your ailments, your illnesses. It won't protect you. It won't save you. It will show you nothing. And it doesn't matter how much fucking money you throw at things, right? Not everything is corruptible. Not everything can be bought. And you've been trying to thwart my life for the last 48 years, allegedly, because my date of birth's wrong. And the family who claims to be my family are not my family. And the inheritance or the trust that was left to me is from original family members, not you. And the entitlement on you freaks to think that you can just take whatever you want, do whatever you want, because, you know, the jealousy, hate and envy is strong in you freaks.
I can feel your anger.
And, you know, just look what it's made you do. Just look to the depths you've stooped to. Just look at what you've become. Just look at where you are. Just look at the state of your health. Just look how your life is falling apart. The foundations are eroding beneath you. You know.
Eroding beneath me! Eroding!
And as I say, there are no more warnings. You were told, you were told, you were told, and you just wouldn't let it lie, would you? You just wouldn't let it lie. But here we are. Here we are. I can't really fucking hear anything with these cannons on. But yeah. And it turns out that you're not really strong at all, are you? And, you know, you need a crowd. You need this external validation because you don't have mental strength. You're not strong at all. You play psychological warfare and you're not even psychologically prepared for the drawbacks because you just thought you could, like, use your witchcraft that you're addicted to doing, that you are still doing. And as I've already told you, I do not partake in such practices. It's of no interest to me. You know what I mean? I do not do what you do. That is your problem. That is why you always fail, because you think everyone thinks like you, acts like you, does the things that you do. But no, obviously that's not true. But you're so in denial, you're so delusional, and you will not be held accountable for your life choices, by the way. You chose this path. You chose to do the things that you do. I've had nothing to do with you for over 10 years. I've moved on with my life and left you in the past because that's where you belong. In the past, because you're a relic of the past that's served its purpose. There is nothing more to learn from a worthless piece of shit like you. And you're so sad, so pathetic, and so jealous that you cling to the past. You cling to this past version of me that has expired. It has moved on. I have learned. I've ascended. You know, like, this is what separates me from you. This is the difference between you and I. Right? I actually learn from my mistakes. I have self-introspection. I self-reflect. Self-reflect. I go within. Because the answers are within. I don't need external opinions. I don't need their validation. I need nothing from these people. I found the answers by going within. By self-introspection. By self-reflection. By... well, basically by going over my past transgressions. Right? Acknowledging my flaws, right? Acknowledging where I went wrong. And then learning from those mistakes and never repeat them again, right? And sometimes you have to cut a lot out of your life. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to change your habits, right? Things that you can't do. You just simply refuse to learn and move on. You just want to be stuck in the past, and you're always trying to dig up my past. Well, who cares about my past? It's in the past. I've learned from that and left it where it is. You're still there. You can't forget the past. You can't let go of the past because you cling to a version of me that no longer exists. And that narrative that you're trying to push on everyone is only making you look like a fucking idiot. Right? Because you always say, oh, he's going to do this. If you do this, he's going to do that. Or if you behave this way, or if you say these things, if you do that, it's just like, well, no. Because I've learned from those mistakes. And I've learned how to divert myself from that. Just like how I no longer have anything to do with you because you are toxic individuals. Right? You are toxic individuals that need to be surgically removed from my life because nothing good will ever become of my life if I was to have any association with you fucking people. It's just the same for all families on both sides. You are ostracized. You are cut off. I've no wish to see you again. I've no wish to talk to you again. You are all scum. You are clearly very impressionable, very weak individuals. Very sad, very pathetic, very narcissistic. You all seem to have this fucking self-entitlement, or you all seem to think that you can control my life or steer it in the direction that you want it to go. Well, how's that working out for you? How's your health? How's your physical health? How's your mental health? How's your finances? You know what I mean? Is it going well for you? Yes. We all know that's false. It's like currently there's a court case going on in my absence about this inheritance that you're trying to steal from me. That, which, by the way, you're not going to get. Look, this is the difference between you and I. I'm a man of faith, and I am told not to worry, and that all will work out in divine time. I trust that, because the thing is, with a lot of atheists, they need to be shown things in order for them to believe, because they're weak. They're weak in spirit, they're weak in faith, right? They're just traumatized individuals that need to go and heal. See, because the difference between an atheist and a man of faith is the man of faith who believes first, who holds that faith, even if it just starts off as a mustard seed of faith, and you let that faith grow to become stronger, and to become stronger to the point it's so reinforced, the Most High God will show you, born out of faith, born out of belief, born out of obedience, born out of loyalty to the Most High God. And when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen, and He will show you. That's the difference between men of faith who truly believe to that of an atheist or an agnostic. They're just weak-chinned individuals who have a petty streak in their nature, and they always trying to, like, have their reasonings for their arguments against why God is so cruel, why God is so bad. It's like, well, no, this 3D realm is just a simulation. It's a school. So, and it's based on duality. So anything goes, because you've been given free will. You've been given free will to make choices. Because you know, causality, cause and effect. So based on your choices, determines your outcome in life, determines your path in life. And if you make good choices, well, naturally, eventually, because remember, some of us have a narrow path to walk, and it's filled with many obstacles. It's filled with many parasites. It's filled with many dangerous people who are trying to steer you off that path. And you know, one of those ways is through distractions. Now that could be through sex, pornography, cigarettes, alcohol. You know what I mean? Just like all forms of addiction and distraction. Now, whether that's even like committing all kinds of crimes. You know, the narrow path is not an easy path to walk, and it is a test of faith. It is a test of strength. It is a test of your belief in the Most High God, and not a lot of people are successful. A lot of people choose hate, choose bitterness. Look at the world right now. Look at the state it's in. It's in chaos. But there are hidden hands behind the veil that steer this chaos, because whether you realize it or not, this is a spiritual war. Right, we're not just dealing with governments, right? We're not just dealing with the justice system. We're dealing with, you know, principalities upon high who try to steer the course of humanity, steer it on a negative path, and it is a war for your soul. So my advice would be to always make good choices. And I know those choices aren't always easy. And it's so easy to join the flock of unbelievers who like to commit sin repetitively. I myself partook in that path once upon a time, but it's never too late to repent. It's never too late to steer it back to the right path, providing you haven't committed heinous acts of which there is no forgiveness, and it only leads you to one path, and that's of despair, destruction, and descending straight to hell. But yeah, you're too busy wrapped up in yourself thinking you're fucking strong when you've built a whole community of haters to the point that you have to have meetings about one individual, and you constantly have my name in your mouth 24/7, 365 days a year, right? Now, if I'm nobody, right, and if I'm fucking weak, well, I certainly have a lot of fucking admirers, whether they haters or likers, and they certainly do a lot of talking. They certainly do a lot of bitching, don't they? In your community, online, or in private when you meet up. But don't worry. And let's just say if you have had a Telegram group, a WhatsApp group, a Facebook group, a Discord group, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if you delete the accounts, right? Because it all stays on the network. You could write a message and post it and delete it. That is transcribed onto the network. You can print those messages off even after you've deleted the accounts, right? It's just the same as the mobile network. You could send a text from your phone, delete that text from your phone. You think it's gone, right? Yeah. Wrong. It all stays on the network, and you can print all those messages off, right? Just like phone calls. Well, they don't actually record the phone calls, but they're all time-stamped, right? The duration of the call, right? Things like that. So if you're trying to like fabricate abusive calls, well, it all stays on the network, and like so, right? So it doesn't matter if it's Instagram, if it's Facebook, if it's Twitter, right? You could write all your tweets, all your posts. You can update your timeline with text, right? And you might think, oh, I'm going to delete those texts. Don't worry, the network saves it all. Even if you delete your account, that account's still on the network, right? It's just not active, right? It's just being removed from public view, right? But all those tweets, right, are all saved onto the network because they all essentially operate like a telecommunications network, right? Because like on whether it's EE, Vodafone, or O2, you know what I mean? When you send a text message from your phone, it's all saved on the network, and you can, with your account number, can go into that account and print off all the tweets you've made, even to the point when you deleted those messages, time and date. You know what I mean? It's just the same with video calls. It's all logged onto the network. You can extract that information at any time with a warrant or a court order. You know what I mean? So it's all obtainable. So because I know, right, see, because remember how you're always trying to call me slow and stupid and you're more intelligent because, you know, you've got so many more heads to work with. But if those heads are all as thick as shit just like you're just essentially making a small pile of shit into a bigger pile of shit, right? And the only difference is that bigger pile of shit will smell more. You know what I mean? Like, it'll smell more rancid. But you're still a big pile of stinking shit that's about as much use as an ashtray on a motorbike or a chocolate fire guard for a hot open coal fire. Or a used condom. You know what I mean? Or about as much use as dog shit on your shoe. You know, like, you're pretty useless people. And you're all very like-minded. And you all have a low IQ. Because you've all created these accounts, right? Whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your laptop, whether it's on your desktop, or it's a tablet, right? And you're doing it through a router, or from the signal that emits from your handset, like, you know what I mean, etc., etc. And it's all attached to your IP address. And your IP address is attached to whichever network you're subscribing to, or you've got a contract to, for whether it's a 12 to 24 months. And it's all stored on the network. So you can create a fake account, you can delete a fake account, but it's all attached to that IP address. Now you can get rid of that phone and throw it in the water or whatever, it's still saved on the network. And you know, but you're so smart and intelligent, you don't realise that I've worked for 3 mobile phone companies, you know what I mean, and they all operate exactly the same. And I've worked in fraud, I've worked in lost and stolen, damaged, faulty, right? I understand the protocols because I have a high aptitude for learning, and that information gets stored up here and it never goes away. So while you stupid cunts, and in fact the fat whore also because I got a job at Orange on the 18th of November 1999, and then a few weeks after that the fat whore, you know, because she's a fucking fat narcissist, I can do that, I can do that, right? And for all she worked for these fucking call centers, you didn't know that, did you? You big fat dozy whore. And you've been running around in ignorance, thinking you're like intellectually and morally and fucking spiritually and physically superior. Look, I understand, like, I'm getting in shape, right? And I'm looking good now. I'm starting to really fucking burn through with the stubborn belly fat. I've really upped my game and the intensity on my calisthenics. So that's high intensity interval training, or HIIT, or like if you went to boxing or in the army, circuit training, which is just a series of exercises with 10 to 20 second breaks in between each one. So it's like 10 seconds or 20 seconds off, 30 to 40 seconds on of high intensity. So you're doing all these fucking reps, all these exercises, doing a full body workout, and it's just making you strong, it's keeping you fit. You know what I mean? I've really upped my game, and you know, I'm really starting to chew through that fucking fat. And I'm telling you now, by the time summer comes, oh yes, I'll be fucking cut all right. But I'm doing that for me and for nobody else, because, like, you know, I've had a lot of people trying to fucking hinder my progress because they all think they can do what I can do. You see, like, I go to work for Orange, the fat prostitute goes to Orange, doesn't learn as much, doesn't retain as much information, fucking clueless by and large, and then move on. And then I want to go to China to teach English as a foreign language. Oh, the fat whore thinks that she can do the same, only it's not the same because she's going to Italy. Like, you will never be a teacher. You don't have the patience or the mental fucking intellect or the you know, you just don't have what it takes to be a teacher and teaching young children, because it requires patience. Because, you know, you've got to hold the attention of 5 and 6, 7, 8 year olds. Do you know what I mean? Like, they get bored very easily, so you've got to be very animated, and you've got to hold their attention. And sometimes you've got to hold the attention of 32 to 35 children in one sitting, and then you've got to do that, what, like 5 or 6 times each day for 5 days. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it wasn't just, it was between 5 and 13 year olds, and so you don't have to be as animated the closer towards them becoming teenagers, you know what I mean? But like between 5 and 8 year olds, you've got to have that animation. You've got to have the gift of the gab. You've got to hold their attention and make sure it's focused on you. And let's face it, you're a fat, useless cunt who doesn't have that swagger that you think you do. You're a delusional fat piece of shit that lives in a delusional world, that thinks you can do everything, but you can't do everything. And you can't. Look, you had to steal my fucking work, right? And then you tried to flip it, saying that you came up with the ideas that I birthed and said that I was copying off you. But I've had nothing to do with you for fucking nearly 10 years. I don't even know that stupid cunt from Ukraine, right? So how the fuck does that work? And then you're getting all these fake forged documents saying I'm mentally ill and that you're my carer, or that I've got sexually transmitted diseases. But, like, how the fuck are you getting that document? How are you getting that paperwork? Because that's private for me. Do you know what I mean? How are you getting your fucking hands on it? And especially since I've had nothing to do with you for fucking nearly 10 years, and the other cunt from Ukraine I've never even fucking spoke to. How are you getting all this documentation, right? How are you managing to do this behind my back that I'm blissfully unaware? You know what I mean? That's a weak motherfucker right there who has to go behind the back of someone to get people within the justice system and the fucking medical system to fabricate documentation to try and smear and label me as fucking something that I'm not. That's a special kind of low-life cunt right there. That's some weak fucking shit there. You can't come to my face and do it, but you can go behind my back like the fucking rat that you are and do all the shit because you know you'll do anything for a fucking dollar, and that's include lying on your back and let the 100 men go through you. You dirty bastard. And that's why you're fucking burning with incurable STDs. And that's why you've given every cunt else, because you're fucking weak and pathetic. And you're not prepared to tell the people that you've got on board the fucking bandwagon that you created to go against fucking me, that you've got an incurable STD and that you've been having unprotected sex with all these people you've got to team up with you and give it to them. That's some weak, sick fucking shit right there. And let me tell you, karma's knocking on that fucking door now, and everything's falling apart for you, and you've earned it, and you deserve everything that's fucking happening. And I'll be here smiling, watching you fucking topple, because we all know you're a crazy bitch. We all know you're not going to stop doing what you're doing, and that's why you're going to go in a box. And this court case that's going on behind my back that you're trying to keep hush hush about, you've already lost it. You just don't know it. And if you do know it, yes, I'm going to be made aware of that in due course, and there's nothing you can do to fucking stop it. And all of you silly cunts, and that's including the fucking imbeciles that's surrounding us in the fucking houses that you pay to fucking spy on us and invade my fucking privacy, they're all going to go down with you. In fact, this one ginger bastard, if I'm not very much mistaken, is already ratting on you, because they're trying to do damage control from themselves, because they know the time's up, they know these haven't died of cancer as well, so they've got nothing to lose. And remember, I don't really have a lot to lose, because you've taken everything away from us, so it doesn't matter who you fucking target now. There's nothing. You've got no leverage whatsoever, right? And you know, like I've said, I've already won. I'm just allowing time to catch up and get through to you. But we all know it's hard to get through to a fucking breeze blockhead like you. Fucking concrete, dozy bastards. So yeah, I'm basically on top of everything. There's not a lot you can fucking do. Every single one of yous that's involved in this is going down. And if you haven't lost your fucking jobs already, who's in the legal situation, you're going to. And yes, I'm well aware it's Mercury retrograde on the 26th of this month, and it goes on till about the end of March sometime, right? And everything's falling apart for you now, right? And you daft cunts thinking that you can come back and spin me some bullshit story about he did this, she did that, blah 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 blah. It's like, I'm not interested in what they did. I'm interested in you, because not only have you implicated yourself in the crimes that you committed, it's like, what did you do? Because you're so quick to fucking stab everyone else in the back, but what did you do? You did equally as bad as them, if not fucking worse. But you're trying to like do damage control. Just don't bother reaching out. I'm not interested in your explanation. I'm not interested in your apology. You are removed from my life. I will never have anything to do with any one of you cunts ever again, right? And I'll be waiting and watching for you, and you won't be able to fucking catch us on the blind side. And if you do try to reproach us, I won't be fucking talking to you. It's over. Do you understand? And there'll be no out of court settlements. I'm taking you to court and prosecuting you to the full extent of the law, and I'm going to make sure you go down for the rest of your natural, because you deserved it. It's no good now saying, oh, I'm sorry about this, I'm sorry about that. You couldn't give a fuck when it was all going in your fucking favour, when it was all going according to plan, and there was no hiccups and no fucking backfires. You are so happy to fucking stab innocent people in the fucking back, and you've been doing this for a long fucking time. But no more. The buck stops with me. Right? So don't bother about fucking reaching out. I know you're all watching us because you're all obsessed with us anyway. You remember you've formed fucking groups and societies and cults and fucking covens to fucking talk and discuss about us, about how nothing fucking you do works. And how am I doing it, or how am I doing it, or well, I've already fucking told you how it's happening, but you just don't want to believe it because you're backward and fucking retarded. But don't bother reaching out. I don't give a fuck about your apologies. We've gone too far. You've done too much for me to even consider a worthless fucking apology from cunts like yous, right? So like, just don't bother reaching out. I do not fucking care. You're not going to get nothing out of me. I owe you nothing. You are entitled to nothing. You are nothing and no one, and what you deserve is either fucking death or jail for the rest of your life, and then death. You don't deserve anything else, because you're all fucking useless. So what all you silly cunts out there watching me need to do is start saving yourselves and start fucking contacting the authorities and telling them about this fucking chicanery that's been going on. Because either way, it's not looking good for you. So you might as well try and limit the type of sentence that you're going to get. Because I'm telling you now, I'm going to go through all yours like a fucking dose of Epsom salts, and I'm going to cleanse and clean all your cunts out of everything. You should have just left us alone. Now you pay the price for your stupidity. And on that bombshell, I think I'll just leave it there for now. I may come back for one, maybe later, I don't know. But no, it's going to be a full moon on the 3rd of March. That won't work either. The new moon didn't work. Your death magic doesn't work. It's, you know what I mean? Been doing this for 48 years. Even Lord Fahkie-Harse has been trying to fucking destroy us.
Ah, you, Mr. Fahkie-Harse!
Keep us trapped in a prison to stop us from progressing. That silly cunt failed, and he's dying now. But like, there's no getting through to thick people. There's no getting through to blockheaded individuals with shit for brains. And I've just had about enough of all yous, and I just want you all to just fucking go and disappear out of my fucking life. You shouldn't have never got involved in the first place. But it's too late for that now. You've got to pay the piper. It's payment time. You've run out of credit. It's time to pay your debt. And a lot of yous are going to pay that in blood. You're going to pay that in death. Or you're going to do a lot of time in prison. But yeah, I'll leave it there, and I'll see you on the next one. Catch you later.
Reminisce all about we had.